Konnichiwa, hola, 大家好. Hello, lovelies. It's your girl Jack Daddy, and I have written down my list of things for my end of the year review in the hopes that I would stick to my list and not ramble and make a super long video. And I ended up doing that anyway. It is 1 a.m. in the morning of the new year. Pero akamashite omedetou gozaimasu. Feliz año nuevo. 新年快乐. Um, 新年快乐. Yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to just stay to my list. So, this year I was only supposed to study Japanese. Mandarin took over. I did focus more on listening for all three of my target languages, so as a result, my listening improved. So yeah, with Mandarin, because I was listening to it so much, I started to really see the importance of listening this last year. It feels so weird. I'm gonna just say this year, okay, because that's where my mind is at. It ain't the new year until I go to sleep and I wake up in the new year. I listen to podcasts in Japanese for at least an hour a day, you know, or music or whatever, but mainly it was podcasts for like all my TLs. And I definitely saw some improvements. My other skills though took a hit. I lost a lot of confidence, and I constantly found myself afraid to speak and write. And then reading was terrible because I would see a paragraph or even a tweet written completely in Japanese and immediately get discouraged because I would stumble on kanji or words that I didn't know, and I wouldn't even like try to read the rest of it. I would just give up, you know. So I overcame those challenges by I did a italki, more or less gave me like a free, not really a free, they gave me like a coupon that I could use on their site, and I went ahead and used that coupon to book practice with a conversation or conversation practice with Japanese tutor, community tutor on italki. And yeah, I did that, and it helped me boost my confidence at least with speaking. Like it's still clunky because I just did a practice with some some ladies that I study with, and I could hear myself, and it was like, girl, what? I couldn't remember how to put stuff together, but I still spoke. Reading, I read Bible verses. Like I totally forgot that I've been trying to like read Bible verses in Japanese, and because it's like a short passage, a very short passage, like one verse. Um, that kind of helped me like to break that. I also participated in the reading challenge. Even though I didn't complete it, I still really started to get back into reading again with the book Kondo Kimi ni Aetara. And I don't know, I've had the book forever, but for the first time, it's like reading it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this book is so good. Why did it take me so long? So yeah, I have not had that love for reading since I was a child. So to have that come back again, it's like wow. And writing, I just try to write more posts on Instagram. So every time I go to post about kanji or something in Japanese, like write in Japanese. If I wrote something, about vegan stuff, and it was like, I think it was one day I did write something in Japanese, but it was like, you always switch to Spanish because that's the one you're comfortable with. Write in Japanese. So doing that stuff, like pushing myself to get out there, really helped. Espanol. Again, focused on listening. It improved. One of the shows I really like to watch is Ciento Latinos Dijeron. Or is it Cien Latinos Dijeron? I always mess up 100. I love that show because it's like Family Feud. You learn a lot of vocabulary words watching that show. One day I realized I could understand everything that they were saying on the show, and it was like, I mean, yeah, they still had words that they would say on the board, and it was like, that's that, write it down. But yeah, like that was dope to me. I've had a few natives who have told me like, wow, you sound natural. Your Spanish sounds strong, like you sound like you're fluent, and I'm like, not that. But my vocabulary is like, so it actually helped that I started my business for conversation practice because it forces me to stay sharp. I achieved my goal of writing a post entirely in a target language and native speakers still understand. Because before I would see people write entire posts on HelloTalk in their target language, and it was like, man, people really understand them. Like they would have like minimal errors or so, but like maybe or no errors sometimes. But it was just like they really are writing entire posts, like long posts on HelloTalk in their target language. Meanwhile, if I try to do that, they don't know what the heck I just said. But now I can write an entire post, and yeah, I still have errors, but they're like, "Oh, I understand you. Oh, I get what you mean," and it feels so good. Again, then honey. So with Mandarin, Mandarin became the love of my life from January to about August, September. There was definitely some ups and downs with that. Um, I did what I should not have done, which is, try to do something that works for other people instead of sticking to what works for me. What works for me is grammar. I love grammar. Grammar helps me build a strong foundation in the base because I treat it like math. Like if I know the structure, if I know how to express this thing using this grammar concept, then I can pretty much build my sentence any kind of way that I want to, right? Yeah, I didn't do that. So what I tried to do was, just practice with a lot of people, do a little bit of grammar and just learn through interaction. No, that was humiliating for me, demotivating, and it got to the point where I was afraid to speak. So I went back to what works for me, and I think Wehanzi, because she is awesome. Like she really helped me to like be more confident. So thanks. I don't even know if she's gonna see this, but because I spent so much time listening in Mandarin, went up a lot. Like I can hear every syllable. I can hear all the syllables. I can hear the words. Sometimes, yeah, because they clip words too, um, or because of dialect, different pronunciation. It's like, what? But other than that, I mean, to be able to like hear those words clearly, and it's like, even though I don't understand all the time, but yeah. Which, by the way, I was watching Baito Living Sun, and I don't know the Chinese name, but Running Man China. Those are my shows. I'm sorry. You can say what you want to say. Those are my shows. I can make sentences. They're very short sentences in Mandarin, but I can make, real short, basic sentences. So I want to expand that. I was able to have a conversation in Mandarin for at least 5 minutes, which was like one of my goals. So that's good. All right, now we're getting to the personal stuff. I had to take some breaks due to my mental health. It started taking a toll, and I could feel it happening, like to the point where the people that I run a study group with, I could feel myself like, getting snappy with them. And it was like, okay, you have an attitude. And it's like, are you really mad at them, or are you got some unresolved issues that you need to deal with? And I had my first suicidal thought in 2 years. So, the last time that was like 2019 was, or 2020, so a year. I'm saying 2 years, but it's actually like a year or so. Because all of 2020, not one suicide thought. And so I was like, oh, I'm done with that. You know, so it's that realization, like, it's not that, you know, you get to a place where it's like, oh, I never have to deal with this again. You just get stronger and you learn how to handle it better. I lost some friends in my life, and that was really painful, but I literally gained a tribe. I almost said their names, so I'm not gonna do that. But I thank God for them, literally, because by having them like in my circle, I learned what it means to have a group of people who are supportive, who do not, you know, diminish your goals or your dreams, who don't make you feel inferior because of your status or, you know, where you are in life. Because honestly, I'm in my 30s. I ain't never had nobody been single all my life. Like I hear people that are like forever alone. I mean, I ain't claiming that, you know, but I literally ain't never had nobody. I live at home with my mom. I've been unemployed for a minute. Like now, you know, I started my business, but I've been unemployed for a minute. So yeah, and it doesn't help to have people that, you know, make you feel horrible for that. So yeah, having a tribe around me who are like, you know what, it's okay because that's not going to be your situation forever. It's okay because you're going to accomplish those goals. You're going to set out to do that dream. You're going to achieve everything that you want to achieve. How can we help you? I felt comfortable enough to share things with them. Be like, you know, I'm feeling like this today, and I don't feel like, you know, something's wrong with you. Another thing I learned personally is, and it really came, this saying came to me today, right? It popped in my head, so I know that came from the Lord. um, but no one can pour salt into a wound that has already healed. I kept dwelling on certain things. I was like, I feel like every time when I'm finally starting to try to heal, this certain specific person pops up and they feel the need to try to pour salt to the wound. They feel the need to try to, you know, take me back to this place that causes me to feel like, you know, unforgiveness or whatever, which I have to stop doing that too, right? No one makes you feel anything because if you say you make me feel blah blah blah, as I've learned, you are giving that person power over your feelings, and nobody should have power over you like that. So basically, I had to have some healing, and that's what I learned. I'm dealing with trauma. I'm dealing with past hurts. I've developed bad habits um, from, you know, toxic relationships, and you know this constant need, overly defensive, right? So it's like you need to heal, allow yourself to heal. But yeah, I take myself too seriously because I realize sometimes I get snippy with people, especially when I'm moody. I have to learn to like step back. But it's like sometimes you need to calm down. You need to recognize when you're being triggered. You know, when someone is, you know, attacking you, and when you're just feeling, you know, like you're being attacked. I took a leap. I started my little side business, my side hustle. Because I'm still like scared to call it a business, right? But technically it is. But yeah, I say my side hustle. I became vegan, but not by choice. Okay, because if I could eat some meat tomorrow, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I literally can't. Like even the thought sometimes, or the smell of it is like, I have no choice. Like it's like, you know what? Okay, God, you got jokes. Um, so I just stick to my fruits and my veggies. All I'm gonna say is for my people of faith out there, be careful what you pray for, because I literally was like, I want to eat healthier. Yep, definitely eating healthier. My faith has really grown, and I feel like my hope is increasing. I'm becoming more of an optimist, whereas before I used to be very pessimistic or Just like whatever, will it be nice if this happened, but it's probably not going to. And I was like, like every year sometimes, toward the end of the year, I would just see despair. Now at the end of each year, all I see is hope. Whew, the biggest one, the fact that I might have ADHD. Somebody recommended me like, hey, maybe you should look into this because I've been diagnosed almost every time. Like, oh, so that's not normal? Oh, you mean everybody doesn't do that? Oh, you only do that if you have ADHD. Oh, that's an ADHD thing too? Oh, no, it's just certain stuff that it was like, now it makes sense. Like, feeling like well, maybe if I just tried harder, and in actuality, you're doing the best you can because you got ADHD. I was also angry, um, because it was like, remembering when people were trying to, and I think that's one of those trigger things that I have to work on, right? People making me feel like, well, something must be wrong with you because your behavior is not normal. And so it was like, oh, well, crap, they were right, but it's like, no, they were still wrong. Like, yeah, something was going on, but, certain things, it's like you shouldn't make people feel like they're broken, or that, something's wrong with them because they're different. I've learned to embrace it as a superpower, right? Because neurodivergence, just that name alone sounds cool, right? Like, it makes me think of the movie Divergent. And the thing about Divergence was that they were very special, unique people that were different from everybody else. And in their difference, they could do so many things. So it's like, I have superpower. I'm a Divergent. I'm cool with that. But I do need to get diagnosed though. Like, I'm pretty sure it's one of those things like, yeah, they gonna tell me that I am, but like this video taking forever because I keep getting distracted. But okay, despite the small wins made it all worth it. So when you look at that, it's like I can't complain. Despite death in the family, despite losing those friends, longtime friends, despite the mental health challenges, despite looking like you trying to get a business off the ground, and just all these things, all these crazy things going on, feeling like you can't get your life together. And it's like, it made it worth it because it was preparing me for this next stage. Because I don't know what this year is going to look like. But, it's like, you just learn. It's like, okay, 2020 was bad, 2021 was bad, and you survived it, and you got stronger. You grew in those seasons of pain and heartache. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next season? Even if it's a season full of pain, you're just going to grow. So it's like, I really can't complain. The last thing I want to say is that I really would love to know that I like inspired other people to go after their dream or to learn that language or whatever that it is that they wanted to do, because that would mean the world to me. Like, literally, that would mean more than anything. So yeah. Okay, this long video. I don't even know if it's gonna load. If it loads and you see this, then great. If it doesn't load, I will be doing my end of the year review in January, sometime in January, and just doing that. I don't know. And then doing monthly updates. Don't judge me. Alright, Happy New Year. 明けましておめでとうございます。Feliz Nuevo Año. 新年快乐. And I hope that you all have an amazing year. Remember to keep fighting, keep persevering, and just take it one day at a time. Bye, guys.